Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about what it's like breastfeeding twins, so keep watching. I feel like he's going to throw up. Any minute now. He's got hiccups. I assume that you click on this video because you may be pregnant with twins and curious how it's going to be breastfeeding twins. And I know that I was curious myself. And I'm sure that you probably know that sometimes twins can come a little bit early, which can kind of be a little bit of a struggle when it comes to breastfeeding. So my twins were actually born at 35 weeks, which technically was pretty good that we made it that far. And some people can make it even farther past 40 weeks, which is incredible. But if not, you got as far as you can, so don't feel guilty or bad that you couldn't make it any farther. Sometimes your body is just ready, or the babies are just ready. So my twins were born at 35 weeks, and unfortunately their muscles for breastfeeding, like their suction muscles, were just not ready. They just were not ready to breastfeed quite yet. So they ended up getting an NG tube, which can look a little bit scary. It's basically like a tube that they put through the nose, down the back of the throat, and goes directly into their stomach, and they can pump through either formula or breast milk. So my twins got breast milk because I pumped every 2 hours during the day and at night while I was recovering, and I just delivered it to the NICU every day. Sometimes with the NG tube, they can actually like get their little fingers like hooked around it and like they can pull it out. Typically, not typically, almost always, they have it taped with like derma tape. It's like really sticky tape, and you'll see it like it'll be kind of like on the side of their face, or they'll have like a little heart there, but it's to prevent the tube from like coming out. So obviously not every set of twins needs that, because some make it past that, or even some babies that are born at 35 weeks don't actually need the NG tube. Like their suction muscles were actually developed sooner than other babies. In our experience, they did need the NG tube, and I'm grateful that we had it because that way they were able to get the nourishment that they needed. Regardless of the NG tube, you can still breastfeed and try to get that latch going, which I tried. I had missed breastfeeding so incredibly much because I didn't really get to breastfeed my other two as long as I would have liked to. So I was very excited for baby number 3 to breastfeed, but then surprise, number 3 and 4. So I was excited. I was just a little bit nervous as to how my breastfeeding journey would come about. Sorry, Isaac has hiccups right now. So while I was trying to breastfeed in the NICU, I tried to use a nipple shield, which actually they were able to suction on that, which was huge. And then of course, like the NICU nurses would always encourage, like try to bottle feed if possible. That way they can go home sooner, because as soon as they can bottle feed or breastfeed and show that they're gaining weight from the bottle, then they can go home. So that was a huge goal for us, was to show that they were gaining weight either from breastfeeding or bottle feeding. I think the most important thing that I did accomplish was the pumping. I was able to pump every 2 to 3 hours during the day and at night, and obviously like that is a huge commitment and so much work, like especially when you're recovering from a C-section. That is huge. I'm gonna go ahead and put a card at the top of this video right now to link you over to C-section recovery. I cannot talk today. And you'll find some really good helpful tips to recover and how to I kind of talk about like pumping in your breast pump and stuff. So I continue to try to latch them multiple times a day, at least like every feeding. They just couldn't seem to grasp it, and I continued to pump. But once I came home and I didn't have the help of the nurses, and mind you, like I have a son who is medically fragile. He requires a lot of medical care, and I also at the time had a 6-year-old. So I was very busy already, and so trying to take care of twins and 2 others, one with medical issues, and pumping in between that, and washing the pump, and It was just, I came home and I was very, very overwhelmed. I came to the decision to stop pumping only because of how overwhelmed I was, and I didn't have time to take care of myself. And so, and you know, I was still healing from a C-section, so that was a really hard decision for me to make, to stop pumping. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty sad and upset, but I just realized, like, this is what I have to do. And regardless of my baby being breastfed or formula fed, they're being fed. And I am a total advocate for breastfeeding. I think it's amazing, but sometimes you just gotta throw in the towel and realize that exhausting yourself beyond what is necessary is just not the best thing. There are so many moms who have had twins that had success at breastfeeding, so do not let my story stop you. I strongly suggest to make sure that you are keeping up with your pumping schedule when you first have your babies, because when you do have a C-section, like I said in my other video, you do have to, you do have to work hard. Some people have a really hard time, some people have no problem at all. And it also depends on each pregnancy too, because with my son Connor, I had a really hard time getting my milk in. And then with the twins, I had no problem, and with Isaac, I had no problem. So it really all depends on which pregnancy, and everyone's different. Well, you guys, I think I covered it all. Please comment down below if you would like to share your breastfeeding experience with twins. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Did you just poop? Oh, I just got pooped on. Oh dear. I just got pooped on. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up really quick.